Well, well, well. Good evening, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. I hope you can hear me. And now, I hope you can see me. How are we this evening, this afternoon, or whenever you are watching this? I will go straight to the chat because I see we have at least John and Shalini in there. And say good evening. Yeah, my hair's a little bit. The conditioner has sent it into a bit of a tizzy, into a bit of a mess. Shalini's drinking tea to stay awake. John says it's only 8 p.m. Well, yeah, it is 8 p.m. It's 8 p.m. Well, it's midnight somewhere, right, John? It's midnight somewhere. But we are here to talk about Universal Studios Great Britain, Universal's Epic Universe, and other things. That's what we're here to talk about tonight. I've not done this type of show before, so bear with me as we go through it, and we'll shoot the shite, as it says. Harry Potter, says John. Well, let's go straight to talking about Universal Studios in Great Britain then. Okay, the potential theme park that they're building potentially in Bedford, and I say that with great reason because there once was a. Okay, to paraphrase Nick Fury in the Avengers, there was an idea that something would be built on the Swanscombe Peninsula in the Thames called Paramount Park, London. And then that sort of evolved into the London Resort. Okay? Now, the London Resort was still going to utilise Paramount properties, allegedly. Build a theme park, a water park, a hotel. It would be a grand old destination. It was announced a very, very long time ago. And I, as a young whippersnapper, theme park / roller coaster enthusiast, would go on the old forums. I don't know if anybody watching this remembers what a forum is, but I would go on the old forums and I'd say, this isn't going to happen. This is a bit of a land scam. And by that I mean, we had Murcia in Spain. No, Bedford is just, it's not too far from London at all. It's about 20 minutes from Luton. Anyway, Murcia in Spain announced a Paramount Park. They did. They announced the Paramount Park a long time ago. And it was essentially a land scam. It never got built. And I saw the writing on the wall for this London thing. The minute they announced what it was, they said Paramount Park, I went, nope, not happening. It's not going to be a Paramount Park. And I was maligned. I was ridiculed. I think I was even kicked off one or two theme park enthusiast forums for daring to utter that this was an absolute load of horseshit, because it was. And it was supposed to open in like 2019, then 2020, then 2021, and then 2022, 2023, 2024. Nothing has happened. Nothing. Because they didn't even own the land on the Swanscombe Peninsula. They didn't even own the land. They were trying to move businesses off. They were there. Then there were spiders. Anybody remember the spiders? That meant they couldn't do this. Oh, spiders! I say get rid of them. But still, there was always a reason, there was always an excuse that the Paramount Park / London Resort was being delayed. And I'm just sitting there going, told you so. Told you so. Now, I think it's very different with Universal, okay? And the reason I say this is because, first and foremost, they own the land. They've purchased it. They did it in secret. They purchased it outright. It's 100% owned by Comcast Universal. The land is huge, and it is flat. So really good to build, obviously, a theme park on. Nice, big, flat land. I say a theme park. They've actually purchased enough land in Bedford to build 2 parks. A City Walk, which is an entertainment and sort of bar, restaurant, nightlife district, and several hotels. The amount of land that they have purchased is large. They've bought a lot of land. And they've paid a lot of money for it. Millions and millions and millions of pounds. So, first and foremost, I would say the intention to build is there. The intention to build on that land is, well, it's got to be there, isn't it? Because you don't go as far as to purchase that land and spend millions of pounds doing so if you have no intention to do anything with it. Now, when Alicia Stella of Theme Park Stop on YouTube, go and give her a look if you want, uncovered this and announced it in sort of late November, early December time, Universal Parks and Experiences very quickly confirmed it. They said they didn't hold back. They said, yep, we've purchased this land in Bedford in the UK, and we are doing a feasibility study as to whether or not we can build a theme park and resort on this land. Well, surely you'd do feasibility studies before you spend millions of pounds. I think the intention is obviously there to build it. Now, I've got a video on the channel about this. It's actually doing very well, and thank you to anybody that has viewed it, anybody watching live or otherwise. And in that video, I mentioned the types of attractions that could come to Universal Studios Great Britain. And I mentioned that they will be unique. Maybe not unique, but they will not be the rides that you find at Universal Studios Florida. You will not see cloned rides from the Florida park here in the UK park. And that's for one reason. Over 1 million Brits a year fly to Orlando and visit Universal Studios in Florida. And they do not want that to stop. So if they start cloning rides and attractions from that park, that disincentivizes Brits to be getting on the plane and flying over. So they will be building unique attractions right here in the UK. They may copy some of the rides from the Beijing resort, say, or even the Tokyo resort, but you're not going to see Transformers the ride in Bedford. You're not going to see the Velocicoaster in Bedford. You're not going to see the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in its current form in Bedford. Now, that's not to say that we won't see rides and attractions based upon these intellectual properties. What will more likely happen is that they will innovate and they will create something new. So, brand new Harry Potter rides, because let's face it, they're not going to not build something Harry Potter in their UK parks. It's going to happen. But you're not going to get Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. You're not going to get Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts. And you're not going to get Hagrid's Magical Creatures motorbike coaster. No. Because they want the Brits to fly over to the States and experience those rides there. And also, they want to be able to market the fact that something brand new for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter that they can't experience in Florida is over in the UK. And the way they've built or bought this land, it's within great transport links. As I say, 20 minutes from Luton, flying to Luton Airport. There's going to be great train links from Heathrow. They know what they are doing. Hello there, Tisley on Twitch. I have integrated the chats, so you guys should be able to see each other if you're on YouTube or Twitch. So you guys should be able to see each other tonight. It seems like Shalini can see the Twitch, and hopefully the Twitch can see the YouTubes. That would be handy, because that means I don't have to flick between the two myself. So that's where we sort of are with the Great Britain parks, or park. And I say parks plural because this site is big enough for two. It really is. Now let me talk about Disneyland Paris for a minute. Excuse me. And people might say, well, why does that matter? And I'll tell you why that matters. That matters because this is going to steal business from Disneyland Paris. If it's built, it's going to steal business from all over Europe. Right now, Disneyland Paris is the biggest tourist attraction in Europe, and they've not really felt any need to innovate or grow. Now, they have an obligation with the French government to build a third theme park, and they've managed to do deals to push that obligation further down the line. I believe right now the delivery date is 2036. They have to build a park by 2036. But if this gets built and Universal Studios comes to Bedford in England, I think we will see that date come forward. I think we will see Disney panic, and I think we will see Disney want to build that third gate as soon as possible, so that it's not sort of a diluted market, and it's also got something to mark, to pull in the guests. Because right now, Universal are focusing on building one theme park at a time. They've announced that we're building one park at a time, and right now they are building Epic Universe, and we're going to go and take a look at Epic Universe together in a minute. But they are building Epic Universe, and Epic Universe looks like, in my opinion, the single most heavily themed and immersive experience when it comes to a theme park anywhere in the world. And should Disney be worried about Universal's newfound love of immersion and theming? Oh, abso-bloody-lutely they should. Because Disney used to be the gold standard for theming. Disney used to be the gold standard for immersion. And then Universal have come along. And they have said, you know what? We can do that better. And they are. And like I said, we're going to take a look in a minute at Epic Universe, because there is a guy on Twitter, or X as you call it, and he goes by the name of BioReconstruct, and we're going to go take a look at his Twitter account in a minute. But he's been flying over Orlando for years in a helicopter, taking aerial pictures of the theme parks, and other parts. But he does all of these updates, and so he keeps up to date on the construction of Universal Studios' Epic Universe. Oh my God! Thank you so much, Shalini, for the £10 super chat. Wow. Thank you. She says, watch this space. Bedford goes Universal. My God, thank you. I really do appreciate it. And if anybody else, wants to contribute in any way, shape or form, feel free to do so. And you can become a channel member here from as little as 99p a month. That's right, 99 of your British pence a month. Let me take a sip on this sugar-free cherry Pepsi. Just like Madam Web Just like Madam Web, I am shilling for Pepsi right now. Spoiler alert. Madam Web is heavily sponsored by Pepsi. But anywho, getting back on track with what I was saying. John says Universal is much better for adults. Yes, it is. But this Epic Universe theme park is like nothing I have ever seen before. And let me just... I think I need to press the right button here. I think this is the right button. Yeah, there we go. So this is BioReconstruct's Twitter page. And like I say, this guy, he does a lot of aerial photography. And he flies all over Florida, and he flies, well, I say all over Florida, all over Orlando, Florida. And he takes a lot of pictures. And I'm just going to scroll down until we find some stuff from Epic Universe. I mean, look at this. This is an aerial, but this is Universal's Octopus Mardi Gras float. Just the theming that Universal are doing now is insane. I'm going to have to keep scrolling here, and I will keep scrolling at speed until we find some construction updates from Epic Universe. I mean, look at this. This is just Penguin Trek roller coaster at SeaWorld Orlando that's being built at the moment. Looks pretty awesome. But yeah, this guy, he just flies over Orlando in his helicopter, taking aerial photos all of the time. And they look awesome. This is Universal Studios water park in Florida, boys and girls. This is Volcano Bay. I mean, just look. They built a volcano, for God's sake. Did they need to build a volcano into the middle of their water park? No. No, they did not. But they did it anyway, because Universal are now setting the bloody gold standard for theming. So, Epic Universe is set out into 5, count it, 5 themed lands. Celestial Park is in the center of the park. Super Nintendo World. Universal's Dark Universal. Universal Monsters. The Wizarding World of Harry Potter. The Ministry of Magic. And How to Train Your Dragon Land. Okay. So, here we go. So let's start a thread of aerial... so this is from September 5th, 2022. And this is how fast Universal built. Okay? Because this is Epic Universe on September 5th, 2022. This is 18 months ago. Okay? Oh, look, my wife has appeared. So we're going to have a look at where it's at now. Look at that. That is the state of Epic Universe now. This is 18 months of construction. And we can go in better and we can go in deeper. He's doing a lot of aerial overviews of Epic Universe. This is one of the hotels here. Okay. This is one of the hotels. This went up in the space of about 3.5 months. Ground up. Universal are building these parks at speed. 2 of these hotels here. And then they have the Helios Grand Hotel as well. So here's an aerial overview of the entrance to Epic Universe. So this is going to be sort of an entrance portal, an entrance gateway, if you can see it here. They're going to build a big arch-like structure over the top of it. And yeah, that's gonna look so cool. I'm fanboying out here for a minute. This is going to be the Nintendo shop inside of Celestial Park, which is, let me just move the photo around for you a bit. It's going to be the Nintendo shop. In fact, I'm going to shrink the screen just for a moment so that I can actually fit these photos in proper. And then what I'll do is I'll keep flicking between cameras just to annoy John. Because I think that's for the best. So, Nintendo shop. There we go. Well, no, of course he doesn't get permission. He's in a helicopter. Just gets in a helicopter and flies over the top. But that's the Nintendo shop, and that's actually outside of Super Nintendo World. Now, Super Nintendo World itself. Oh, my word. I'm just looking for some images here of Super Nintendo World for you, because you have to see this to believe it. My apologies. Oh, I am fanboying away because this is absolutely insane what they are doing here. Like I said, this is going to be the most heavily themed and immersive experience in the world. And it's going to be amazing. Let me show you this, and this didn't exist 18 months ago. This is in the park. This is Universal's Helios Grand Hotel. This is inside the park, so you can stay in the park in the Helios Grand Hotel, and it has its own dedicated entrance into the park, which is behind it here. This is the Celestial Park area of the park, and right here what you are seeing in this dome is going to be a rooftop bar, restaurant, ballroom. You know, it's going to be insane. And then something else obviously in here as well, but this has gone up. It's gone up out of nowhere. They are building at such speed. I believe 10,000 construction workers are on site, something like that. Here we go. Let's take an aerial overview of... Oh, no, that's the wrong button. Let's press the correct buttons for the correct show. This is how to train your dragon land, right? This is how to train your dragon land, Shalini. Inside, this is going to be a restaurant. There's just far more going on here than meets the eye. But let's take a closer look. Let's take a closer look, shall we? So here we go. The Isle of Berk is coming together at speed. We've got the two statues which are going to be in a lake here. There is a How to Train Your Dragon, I think it's going to be called something like Dragon Gliders roller coaster going through the center of it. And it's just, yes, Minions is indeed Universal, Shalini, and Minions could indeed come to the UK park. I probably will, actually. I'm just having a further look to see what else we can see here. So, an aerial overview, here we go, of the lake area in How to Train Your Dragon Land. They're doing entirely wooded flooring. Oh, ads! Yay. So they're doing entirely wooded flooring on the Isle of Berk. Like I say, just over here we have the roller coaster. Over here, I believe this is a splash battle type ride where you get in your boats and you fire your guns. This is going to be a big centerpiece lake for the island. And there's going to be a show called Untamable, I believe. It's going to be an indoor theatre show with giant dragon puppets and everything. If they do, I'm going. Yes, there will be minions in the UK park, Shalini. I'm just showing you what they're building currently. This is what they're building currently in the States, and I'm just showing you that we haven't even got to Super Nintendo World yet, and the level of immersion that's going on over there, because it is something else. I am just going to flick through, come out of How to Train Your Dragon Land, and I'm going to find some photos of Super Nintendo World. I mean, this dude should be commended, because I am still scrolling and we are still in the How to Train Your Dragon pictures. I mean, let me just go back to this one, for example. This is a roller coaster train sat in, I believe, what is the second launch of the How to Train Your Dragon roller coaster. So it's undercover because they don't want us to see what the trains look like quite yet. But yeah, this is pretty awesome. I mean, you don't need permission to be in the skies. Here we go then. So I'm going to try and find a picture of Mount Beanpole, which has been completed in Super Nintendo World. If you just give me a second. Okay, so we'll start here. So this is going to be Super Nintendo World within Epic Universe. And there are going to be 3 rides here in Super Nintendo World. There's going to be Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. There's going to be a little Yoshi Adventure Ride. And then there is Donkey Kong Country with a world's first type roller coaster, which is actually just about to open in Japan, where it looks like you're riding on certain tracks, and then it looks like your roller coaster is jumping gaps in the track, but it's actually not, because there's a secondary track underneath that the coaster's actually riding on. But that is a little look into that version of Super Nintendo World. I say a little look because let's go a bit further in, shall we? So, as you can see here, this is the Yoshi Adventure Ride, and you can see all the little Yoshis. Can you see them? All the little Yoshis ready to receive guests. I believe the ride has been testing for some time. We can see that the theming on Mount Beanpole is really starting to come together. And, wow. That's all I can say about this, guys, is just wow. We can do a proper look at the completed theming of Mount Beanpole now. Look at this. Look at this. That is just insane. And like you said, Shalini, Disney really need to start thinking about what could possibly be coming to Bedford in the UK, because if this company are doing this level of theming, wow. Just wow. Let me come away from here for a minute. I'm gonna go on to YouTube. I'm gonna put myself in studio mode here, just as I don't accidentally line things up, because I want to go to YouTube and I want to show you just how immersive Super Nintendo World really is. So we've got to look at the one in Japan. I'm gonna play you some footage, but I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna make sure that the screen's all lined up correctly. So here's the adverts. Okay, so here's a bit of a reveal trailer, I guess. I'm gonna turn studio mode off. I'm gonna send it in. I'm learning this as we go. Okay, so you guys just gotta bear with me because it is what it is. So I'll give you a bit of audio. I'm gonna turn the. This is real. This is real. This is what they're building. And this is the level of immersion and theming that could well be coming to Bedford in the UK. You say don't tell Vaughan, he'll probably want to go, look at this. Just look at it. This is something else. I mean, I am fanboying over it, and that's why this channel exists, right? To fanboy over things like this. To talk about things like this, because this is my passion, this is my love. This is what I like to do. I like to go to these places. No, it did not say 2048, John. It's already bloody open. It's already open in Japan. Jesus. But yeah. Yeah. Let's have a look for some Minion, because I believe there is a Minion Land at Universal in Beijing. Well, let's have a look at Universal Singapore. Oh, they're building Minion Land at Universal Singapore, so that's not ready yet. But there is one here at Universal Beijing. And we'll take a look, shall we? You want to see some Minion Land? Hey, this comes via Theme Park 101 on YouTube. We'll have a little look through. We'll see some of this. That's just Despicable Me Minion Mayhem, I believe. But I don't want an Expedia advert. I mean, I want an Expedia advert, but I don't want to. Okay, we don't need to see Minion Mayhem. Oh, look, Shalini, it's a Minion shop. It's a Minion shop. Would you be in heaven here? This is Beijing in China. Super Silly Funland from the Minion movies. What else have we got here? The Illumination Theatre. I don't know what that is. Something to do with Sing. But yeah, they do Minions. They do Minions. So I know that there's basically something for everybody with Universal. There really is something for everybody, and this is, you know, let's go back a minute to the Universal Great Britain project. It really is exciting. It really is something that could be for absolutely everybody. I'm excited by it, but then again, I'd be excited if they started building any random roller coaster anywhere. It's just me. But I can see that Shalini's excited by the idea. Let's actually see if Universal, because there is a Universal Studios in Japan, obviously, because that's where the current Mario It's Osaka, isn't it, in Japan? It's not in Tokyo. Let's see what they've got when it comes to... So they've got Minion Park at Universal Studios in Osaka. So let's have a look at this video. Let's go back to the beginning. So Minion Park. So they've got Minion Park and they've got Super Nintendo World. So Shalini, you and Vaughn are covered. There you go. Minion Park. I would be stuck in Minion Land. Yeah, I'm sure you would. This is from Cow Missing on YouTube. Go and find Cow Missing. They all seem to have the Despicable Me Minion Mayhem ride, which is not really a ride. It's more like a theatre show. But those are the types of intellectual properties. They could bring Lord of the Rings to a UK park because they have the theme park rights to Lord of the Rings, but they have never built anything. So they could bring Lord of the Rings to a UK park. Jurassic Park, they have the rights to. Jurassic World. The Bourne films, the Jason, but they've opened a Bourne attraction at Universal in Florida. There is just so much potential for what they could put here in the UK. And hopefully they stick to that internal chat that everything is unique, because I would love to be able to ride brand new Universal heavily themed immersive attractions right here in the UK and then be able to go over to Epic Universe and ride them there. Now, I said in my video that it all depends on you, the audience, as to whether or not, because the channel's goal, the channel's dream, is to be able to make it to the opening of Epic Universe in summer of 2025. Now, right now, there's absolutely no way we would be able to do that. But with your subscriptions, with the channel growth, with you guys watching the ads and helping us grow, we may well just make it there after all. And obviously, if we do, we will take everybody along for the ride. Now, this channel is now finally monetized, and we do hopefully start getting some money, some payout for the work that we do here, and that will be, for the most part, rolled straight back into this channel. So anything that we make will go towards creating new content. And the first payout is going towards getting a Merlin annual pass, so that we can start covering Merlin attractions. And they've got a lot of attractions here in the UK. We can create far more content right here for the channel. Not just, you know, vlogs of us having days out and having fun and stuff like that, but also disability access guides, which is something I'm very passionate about. Showing other disabled people how and where and what they are able to access. So hopefully we'll be able to do that, and we'll be able to bring you that for places not just all over the UK, but in the future, maybe all over the world. We've already done it for Disneyland Paris. Both of the Disneyland Paris theme parks. John, you are incorrect. So, Universal have stated that they will only be focusing on building one park at a time. And by that I mean, the minute they finished one, they're starting another one. The minute they finished Beijing, ground broke on Epic Universe. They will begin construction, if the go-ahead is given for the UK project, summer of 2025 for a projected opening date of 2030. However, I believe it could be even sooner than that if ground does break in summer of 2025. They have the land. They have the approval and backing of the government. They have the approval and backing of the local MP. They are allegedly doing a few little sweetheart deals with a couple of the locals as well. We will get into that as we find out more. They have sent letters out to all of the locals saying, we want to build this thing. They are deadly serious. They have sunk millions of pounds into it already. You don't sink millions of pounds into something just to throw it away. They are deadly serious about this. Something that the Paramount/London Resort never was never serious, because they didn't. They announced they wanted to build this thing, and in fact, you know, one of the first bits of land that they looked at was this same bit of land that Universal have gone and bought. But did they ever buy the land on the Swanscombe Peninsula? No, because there were loads of businesses on there still. So, trajectory of this channel is as such. More content. We'll be talking about theme parks, we'll be talking about hotels, we'll be talking about attractions, we'll be talking about movies, we'll be talking about pop culture, we'll be talking about whatever tickles our fancy. And if you want to contribute content to right here on The Real Review, we are very open to that as well. So if you want to contribute something and you want to make a video or you want to talk about something, then feel free to get in contact with me. You can find me at Disabled Journo on Twitter, on X, or try and get me through here on a comment. And if you guys want to showcase something, then we will, as long as we approve what it is, we will showcase it for you. We're more than happy to do that. Content is king, content is key, and we are going to be pushing, creating, and absolutely driving content. Now, there are some things happening in the near future which I don't think I will be able to make, which is quite sad, but finances are what they are. March 16th, 2024, Nemesis will be reborn at Alton Towers. Nemesis, obviously the Bolliger Amabiyard or B&M inverted roller coaster, which I believe was the first model of its kind, designed by John Wardley, and a very intense ride experience. A very fantastic ride experience. Is one of my favourite roller coasters in the world. Was completely torn down at the end of the 2022 season and rebuilt from the ground up to reopen as Nemesis Reborn on its 30th anniversary. Exactly the same track layout, just brand new track to make sure that the longevity of the ride remains, so that it can go on for another 30 years. They have plussed all of the theming. There's brand new theming all around it. The new track is black with red veins painted all over it. It looks absolutely stunning, but unfortunately, I can't get to Alton Towers for March 16th, and because I need to pay to stay in the hotel. I don't actually have a Merlin pass yet. Feasibility just says we probably can't make it, but hopefully we will be able to cover the coaster at some point this year. But something a bit closer to home that we are trying to get into the press event for, probably won't be able to, but we will certainly be there around its opening day, is Hyperia at Thorpe Park. Now, Hyperia is going to be the tallest and fastest roller coaster in the United Kingdom. It looks pretty damn fun. However, I'm not sure it will be my favourite ride in the country. In fact, my favourite roller coaster in this country at the moment, Steel Roller Coaster, belongs to that title belongs to Icon at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Same manufacturer, Mack Rides, as Hyperia will be. But this ride is just out of this world. It's got 2 launches. It hugs the terrain. It just goes round and stays low to the ground. It has a non-inverting Immelman. It has one sort of very slow inversion. And it is just, to me, the best roller coaster, steel roller coaster here in the United Kingdom. Do I think Hyperia will beat it? And I'm going to just go out on a limb and say, even though some of these elements look like they're taken really fast and they're taken really high, no, I do not think Hyperia will be better than Icon. And I'll tell you why. Because after you come off the first drop of Hyperia, you have 27 seconds of ride time before you hit the brake run. And to me, that's just very disappointing. That's extremely disappointing. There's so little ride time. For the tallest and fastest roller coaster in the United Kingdom, it is not going to use that speed. It's not going to use that height. It's going to do a couple of very impressive things, like an outer banked wave turn, one of the biggest dive stalls I think I've ever seen on a ride, but it is just gonna be over before you know it. And so I think in that respect, it's gonna be extremely disappointing. However, when I go and experience the thing, my mind might be changed. It might completely blow me away. It may. I want to show you something that is about to open at Europa Park in Germany. And it's called... what, John, why are you sending me photos? It did say 2048. Is that its name? That's Japanese writing, John. Anywho, this is opening in Germany. And it's called Voltron. It is, once again, a Mack Rides roller coaster. You can hear that. You can't see it. But I'm gonna mute the audio. I'm gonna show you here. So this is opening in Europa Park. It has a beyond vertical launch. I believe it's the first of its kind in the world. And it is just, wow. Look at this. These are the first ever riders got to experience it today. The Mack family, who own Mack Rides. Wow. And then it hits a turntable and does another half. That is Voltron. They've been building this for a good few years, and the reason it's taken them so long to build it is because they're not just building the roller coaster, they're building an entire themed land to Croatia, and they're theming it around Nikola Tesla. But that looks like it is going to be one of the best roller coasters in the world. And is something, hopefully, one day we'll be able to go out and experience at Europa Park in Germany. But that video was released just a couple of hours ago. The Mack family, obviously, who own Mack Rides and who own Europa Park, were the first to ride it. And they got to have... please let this channel get big enough so that we can go and cover Voltron. Because, yes, there are 2 Tesla towers on that ride. Do you want to see it again, John? Do you want to see it again? I'll show you it again. I'll show you it with sound, if you like. Do you want some sound? I'll give you some sound. It's got some quite epic music. Look. Take it back.
Sensationell. Altså en bane, vi så i Europaparken.
Yes, please. Yes, please. I really want to ride that roller coaster. It looks out of this world. A beyond vertical launch straight out of the station. Straight upside down immediately. 7 inversions on this ride. 2 halves, 2 distinct halves. It hits that turntable, turns around, launches backwards up a spike, and then comes back down, hits the second part of that launches again through it and then continues through the second half of the layout. It is astonishing the type of thrill machines that are being built these days. They are just insane. And it's what I love. And it's what I know a load of people love. And do you know what? On that note, I think I'm going to end this little broadcast. And I'm going to bring it down there. And I'm going to do something like this at least once a week here, where we talk about theme park news, theme park rides, new stuff, old stuff, and hopefully over the course of the year and beyond, there will be so much more on this channel. Not just us sitting in the studio talking to camera, but we really want to get out there on the mobility scooter, get around these parks, show them off, show how they can be accessible, and take you on board a load of the rides. And if you want to join us and haven't already, and I'm talking to you guys who are watching it back specifically, then please subscribe to the channel. Please click that like button. And please, if you can, from just 99p a month, click that join button and help send us to these places so that we can do this, we can cover this, and we can take you along for the ride. So with that, I want to thank Shalini, especially for the £10 super chat. Really, really appreciative. Yeah. I don't really know how to sign off something on this channel other than to say thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like and join if you can. Oh, one more thing. Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/Real Reviews UK and join for free. You can join for free if you want. You can pick a paid tier if you want, and there will be extra content, but you can join that community for free, and we're going to do more over there. So head over there, patreon.com/Real Reviews UK. Good night, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and we will see you again